Hey there, welcome to the Rely on Yourself YouTube channel or Facebook page, wherever you're watching this. This is the first real video, with a little meat on the bone here. But what I want to cover today is whether coaching is right for you or not, and meaning financial coaching. There's a lot of misconceptions about financial coaching that we'll cover. We'll cover what it is, what it isn't, kind of the process of everything, and how you can get started. But first, I want to start with basically just my introduction here, introducing myself to you, um, and I guess, my own experience with all this stuff. So, my name's Jeremy Hughes. I'm originally from Dixon, Tennessee. I'm now living in Bonham, Texas. Been a little bit all over the place. I joined the Army when I was 20, and that's how they kind of dragged me all over the place. And my experience with personal finances has also been all over the place. I've made some mistakes and made some good decisions, and had to learn some lessons the hard way so you don't have to, you know. So this really started when I got married the first time. That was talking about some let's say unwise decisions. That whole ordeal was a mess, and I'm a natural spender myself. That's also the way I kind of cope with things I've noticed naturally. I've had to be very intentional about killing that that habit. But during that time during my first marriage, goodness, man, I was all over the place. By the end of it, I had racked up close to $90,000 in debt. And that's in 2 vehicles, a couple personal loans. I had some student loans that I had to get rid of, and a couple credit cards, So, and some of that was life. You always want to think, oh, it wasn't me making the decisions, it was life sticking it to me. But you control how you respond. It's really just better for yourself if you take full responsibility for it. So I didn't respond to both my own decisions and life's impacts in the right way. And when my marriage ended, I was in the Army at the time, and at that time I was at the rank where I had to live in the barracks unless I was married, so I had to move back into the barracks, and I was getting some less money because they give you a housing allowance, and I had some left over if you have some left over, you get to keep it. So I was making less money, and just about my whole paycheck was spoken for. A little more of it was. So I was on the struggle bus, man. And when I got divorced, I really had to take a look in the mirror. I was like, all right, this situation sucks. how am I going to make the most of this? How am I going to use this event to turn my life around? Because goodness, man, it was not a good time. I was drinking a lot, been around not the best influences either, and something needed to change. And one of those changes was getting out of debt, being more intentional with my spending, and just turning the ship around, because life's too short to be freaking out over where your paycheck is going, or more exactly, precisely, wondering where it went. It's like, man, I just got paid on Friday. It's Monday. Where did it all go? What happened? And there are a bunch of personal changes as well, which that's the story for another time. But a little short of 2 years, I got all that paid off. And man, it felt good. It felt good. Especially the way it came about. Paying off that last $3,000 was because I totaled my truck. And I got a payback a little more than what it was worth, or what I paid for it. No, that's not me saying go total your vehicle. I did not do it intentionally. But anyway, you know, God can use some pain in your life for something beautiful. But and I was so excited. And then shortly after that, a month or two later, I got promoted and had to move out of the barracks. I had to find a place to live again, which I was super excited about, you know. But at the same time, I hadn't built up a full emergency fund yet, and I had to pay someone for $3,000 to $4,000 to start renting a place. And also, I just didn't have the same stuff to live on my own anymore. To make my own food and all that stuff. I didn't have a bed to sleep on. And I really let that suck me back in to being in debt, and I hate it. I hate it. You know, thinking back, you know, it's easy to be Monday morning quarterback, but I really wish I had tried to find a different way. But you know, I had like $1,000 saved up at that point, and I had to produce like 4,000 to 5,000. So I was like, all right, I'll just do this one little thing, and we'll get back on track. And after that, it was one thing after another. I let myself get sucked back into it, and had to double learn this lesson that is not the way. And so, you know, a personal loan later, and then I tried to do it, but on a budget, you know, at first. Sleeping on an air mattress for a month, 2 months, I was like, okay, I got to break down and get a bed. So I thought I found a great deal on something, and then that was another thing that I financed. I didn't have money for because I was trying to pay down this other thing. And then my beater truck that was paid for broke down in the middle of nowhere. If y'all want to hear that story, that's another video on the channel, but that's another one. So that's where I find myself now. just been trying to keep back up with it and trying to reassert myself in this situation. And I've had to learn this lesson twice, so you don't have to, I hope. You know, I know that this can work, and I know that not doing this does not work. So, but as far as I am a certified financial coach through Ramsey Solutions, that's Dave Ramsey's company, through his financial coach master training, and I'm also a member of his Ramsey Preferred Coach program. And at first, I used it as a way to help my soldiers, help coach and mentor them. Some of them took it with to heart. Most of them, they want to do what they want to do. It's like, hey, I didn't ask for your advice, buddy, or sergeant at the time. Anyway, and now I'm in the midst of a career change and getting married and figuring this out. And one way or another, we'll figure this out. Exciting times, And so I'm trying to make a business out of this through making videos like this. And there will be more content to where you can just watch it and get some value just on its own. But while I'm here, I want to cover how I can bring value to you one-on-one in a coaching format. So first, I want to cover some myths about coaching, and one of them is coaching is only for people in crisis, and it's definitely not. It definitely is for people in crisis. I've been in those crises myself, so I get it, man. It's hard. And I pulled through them before, and I have confidence that I can help you through those. But I really want to help families turn the ship around before they are staring at a mountain of debt and crisis. That is the easiest point to make a change. Whenever you are in the mountain of debt that I was in, it really does feel like the world is against you, but it can be done, but it can be easier if you can turn the ship around beforehand, and so it's not just for people in crisis. Another myth is a coach will manage your money for you. That's not my job. That's your job. My job is to give you information and guide you to success. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to get you to understand what you need to do and help you come to your own conclusion. Be like, okay, help you think through things. Try to think of a football coach. He's not out there making the play happen. He helps you through practice, helps you practice certain skills. And then on game day, he watches you perform. And if you're struggling, he can give you some pointers here and there. But ultimately, it's up to you to perform. Another myth is coaches give investment advice. That's also not my job. That's more in line with a financial advisor. They're really there to point you in, specifically which stocks or whatever investment, maybe it's real estate, something to that effect, will get you the most growth over time. I'm here to give you information, general advice, and help you bring you to your own conclusions. And then the last myth we'll cover is it's a quick fix. It is definitely not. It takes time to behaviors are built over time, and it takes just as much time, if not more, to break those behaviors and to more importantly, build new behaviors that are healthy and can get you on the path to success. So that brings me into what my job is as a coach. You know, I have 3 jobs. Understand your situation, and that's just not for me. That's to get both of us to have a full understanding of your situation. So that's my first job. Second is to provide information. You know, information on, I can walk you through how to build a budget, how to allocate certain percentages to whatever, how to actually put your budget into action, things of that nature, how to tackle certain situations. So that's how I can provide information and value as a coach. And then finally, to inject hope. You know, my job is to be your biggest cheerleader, be your biggest encourager in your moments of doubt and even shame. You know, when you're in these situations, you can feel such shame. And my job is not to judge you, because I've been there myself. I just told you. I'm on the playing field myself, trying to turn my ship around. So I'm here to encourage you and root for you. And whenever you get those big wins, to celebrate them with you, and then to hold you accountable and to push forward to get even more wins. And ultimately, all those 3 things is, I'm your guide. I'm here to show you the way and to help you along the path. You know, it's very important to know that you're the hero of your own story. It's not me. That's not what you're coming to me for. Think of whatever movie or TV show. We'll play Star Wars. I know I love Star Wars. If you know me, you know that. But my job is to be your Obi-Wan, not to be Luke. You're Luke or you're Leia. You are the hero of your own story. I cannot take that from you. But with that, there's responsibilities in being the hero. You have to make the change. You have to make the decision, the hard decisions, to do something different. You have to take what I give you and put it into practice and to be the change that you want to see in your life. And so if that's something you're interested in, we'll look at what my template plan is. And again, you're the hero here. You can take my plan and adjust it however you need to, and we'll get to that. But the first step is a consultation. It's a free 30-minute meeting between you and I, one-on-one. And if you're in my local area at the time, then we can meet in person. If not, we'll meet over Zoom or Google Meets or whatever. I typically use Google Meets because it's free. So going over the consultation, I'll have this in either a separate community post or in the description, in the comments, whatever. But a look at our consultation, what that'll cover. First of all, introductions. So, mutual. I introduce myself. You introduce yourself. We get to know each other a little bit. And then number 2, expectations. What I expect of you as a client and what you expect of me as a coach. It's really so we can get a broad understanding of what we are doing in our sessions and what we hope to achieve. And so that way we don't, clear understanding and boundaries so that we don't let each other down, basically. And then number 3, the game plan. I'll lay out my plan as a coach and go into detail on my 3 phases of coaching. We'll discuss what this could look like for you and discuss your thoughts on the plan. And for that, I have kind of 3 phases in mind. Again, we can kind of work this. We can tune this to however we need to. But for the first 3 months, that's phase 1, where I meet with you each pay period or every 2 weeks, whichever one is kind of works best. If you get paid every 2 weeks, then that works great. I really want to get to you before you get paid if we can, so that way we can really sit down with your budget and go over, hey, this is your written game plan for your next paycheck. If you get paid every week, I think it can be a bit much to meet every week, so I think every 2 weeks is really the sweet spot there. And what that'll look like is we'll just make sure you have both your budgets for each of your paychecks for the next 2 weeks. So that's the first 3 months to really help get ingrained the habits that you need on a consistent basis. And then the next 3 months is just meeting once a month to help. So that way you can have some breathing room to operationalize these skills and habits in your own environment, a little less watched by myself. So that way you can build some trust with yourself, really. And then last is just meeting on an as-needed basis as you see fit. If you still want to meet every month for a little while longer, that's cool. If you just want to meet once a quarter, once every 3 months, we can do that. And that's really just to check in every once in a while and be like, hey, how's it going? Is there anything we need to fine-tune here or there? Is there anything that you feel is lacking that you want to really grow into? So that's kind of the 3 phases. One is really more hands-on, learning skills and implementing them. Phase 2 is really growing and trusting yourself and implementing these on your own, but still with my presence. And then lastly, it's really you at the wheel, at the helm, steering as you need fit, and be like, every now and then be like, hey, I need help with this, or what do you think? Is this a good idea? Just every once in a while. Just a quick check-in. And then 4th, we'll go over the pricing model. I do have some founding client pricing, which is I do recommend doing 1 session at a time, just because we may do one and you may think, okay, this isn't for me, for whatever reason, and that's totally okay. But the one session at a time is $100, and then I have some other packages that decrease that per session price in certain amounts. That's something we can get into later. And the actual consultation, if you think this is a good fit for you, something you want to pursue. And then I do have a promotion I'll share with you at the end of this video. And lastly, what we'll cover in the consultation is just a Q&A session. Any questions that you have or I have for you, we'll discuss. Talk about any hesitations or objections and whether we're a good fit for each other, really, and to lay out our next steps. Whether that be scheduling your first session, or maybe it's just, okay, well, I have some other products that I think it could be a good fit for you in your situation if you don't want to pursue such a direct relationship. And some of those products, one of them is Financial Peace University. That's Dave Ramsey's program. It is his program. I'm just a coordinator there. I don't get any money from it. I'm volunteering my time to help coordinate these classes. They do cost to join, but all that money goes to Dave Ramsey's company, Ramsey Solutions, and their products. So you'll get, for example, the one I'm doing starting November 12th is a virtual Financial Peace University. The base price is $99, but just to lay out some of that value, you get 9 video lessons as well as 9 hour-long sessions with me afterwards, after you watch the video. And we'll go through the Financial Peace University workbook, going through different sections and practical exercises there to help hone in your skills there. And then I'm there to answer any of your questions. So you get all that for $99. And you also, there is another package for $130 that you get for a prolonged amount of time. You get their premium budgeting app for a year, I believe, with that option. I'll leave the link in the description if you want to look into it. But again, you get 9 weeks of content direct with me for that $130. But it's just not as tailored to your situation, if you see what I mean. Kind of gives you some blanket education and some practical exercises to apply those. So that's one option. Another option is just books, if you want to read some books, or obviously I'm putting this on YouTube. I'm going to have some other content on YouTube related to financial coaching. So those are some other options to help bring you value. And both links for a free consultation and to get signed up for my Financial Peace University class will be in the description. And now I want to get to our promotion that we're running for the next week. So I'm going to post this video on Facebook, on our Facebook page, the Rely on Yourself Facebook page. If you share this video and if you sign up for our email list by November 7th, you will be entered for a chance to win one free coaching session with me. That's in addition to your free consultation. We'll still do your consultation so that we can kind of get our introductions out of the way. I can get a base understanding of your situation so that I can bring the most value in your free coaching session that I can. And there will be there's 5 people that will get chosen for that one free session. And like I said, the deadline's November 7th, and the winners will be picked on November 10th. I won't put you on blast on Facebook. I'll reach out to you one-on-one with a link to sign up for the consultation and to schedule your session. So I'll reach out directly to you for that. I'll put a post on Facebook just saying, hey, the winners have been announced and they've been notified. And if someone doesn't respond, then I'll just roll on to within a certain amount of time, I'll roll on to the next one, to another one on the list. So that's our promotion that we're running. Please take advantage of that. I think I really want to bring you the best value as I can. And again, I really want to help families turn their ship around before they're staring at a mountain of debt. Or maybe you are. And I want to help you get you out of that. Again, if you're ready to be the hero of your own story, of your own family, take action today. Share this video. Sign up for our email list to get get entered to win a free coaching session or any of our other products. But I look forward to hearing from you. If you are one of the winners of your free session, or you sign up for a consultation, I look forward to hearing from you. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. I love y'all.